Hi, my name is Wendy Steenblick, and I'm the office manager here at the intermediate school. And it will be my pleasure to show you around the school today. Come on in. For the safety of our staff and students, we keep these doors locked during school hours. And so if you are visiting us during school hours, simply knock on the window or ring the bell to alert us to your presence. Come on in. We've just entered the main doors, and to the left is the office. This is where you will most likely find me or my colleague Brittany. We are happy to answer any questions you have and love it when the kids check in with us throughout the day, as they do when they get a level 5. This is our level 5 Principals Club board and our drawings. If a student does something kind of above and beyond expectations, staff members can give them a level 5. The student can come down to the office between classes or at lunch or even after school and choose what they want to do with the level 5. They may enter one of our drawings. They may also choose to be on the Principals Club board, which works sort of like bingo. If they draw a random number and we put their names up on the board, if they are in the winning row, then they get to eat lunch with the principal or vice principal. So either way they go, they're a winner, because no matter what, they get a treat and a high five from us. Through these doors, we have the offices of the principal and the vice principal and the special ed coordinator. This is the special ed coordinator's office, which is sort of a unique role to Spectrum. So about 90% of our students are on an IEP, and it takes somebody special to coordinate all those IEPs, and it's a big job. So think of the special ed coordinator as your advocate within Spectrum. That if you feel like your student is not receiving the services they need on their IEP or is being overlooked, that after talking to the teacher, the special ed coordinator is your best help to get the services you need. Speaking of IEPs, if you need one, you will likely see this room sometime during the year. This is our conference room, and across from that is the nurse's office. We have a CNA on staff here to take care of the bumps and bruises that are inherent to running a school and also administer the medications. So if your child has special needs or dietary restrictions, this will be somewhere that you'll be familiar with. She also has a little bed area for the students to wait to be picked up for parents. Through here is our teacher's lounge and work area. And if you come and need to use the restroom, this is where our adult bathrooms are. We've backtracked now, and we are back in the main office. Through these double doors is the cafeteria, so let's go there. The gym is a highly used area. In the morning, there are gym classes for the middle school, and then it serves as our cafeteria during lunchtime, and then back to PE for the elementary and functional skills classes after lunch is cleaned up. We are part of the National School Lunch Program, and so our meals are prepared for us at Ascent Academy and served right here. So students can sign up to get a hot lunch, but they do need to do so online 5 days in advance. The other option for a lot of our students who have dietary restrictions or sensory issues with food, they prefer to bring home lunch. And we do have just a couple of microwaves for students to warm up, so that is a possibility, but it's very limited, and sometimes there's long lines. So it would probably be better if they're bringing a home lunch, not to have something they need to warm up. Lunch provides more than food. It provides an opportunity for our students to get a social interaction. Not all of our students can handle the echoey nature of the gym or the loud noises that are involved. Every day we provide a classroom where students can eat, that is just too much for them to handle. So they're called quiet rooms, and so if your student is one who can't handle that kind of chaos, they are welcome to eat in the quiet room. After lunch, students are allowed to go to the library or outside to the courtyard to get a break. Our library is open Monday through Thursday, and students have a time once a week to check out books with their class, or they can come check out books before or after school or at lunchtime. Our librarians have found that students are more likely to check out books from bins, like these, than just from bookshelves full of books. So that's why you're going to see bins throughout the library. The other thing that students can do is go outside to our playground, which is right through these doors. The playground is new to us this year, and we are very happy to have it. Kids in general, and especially our kids, need frequent sensory breaks. When my son came to Spectrum, something that I noticed is that every 15 minutes or so of direct instruction, they were followed by a sensory break of some sort. And he did so much better in classes, where he learned not only through a lecture, but through some sort of movement, like getting up and measuring how big the Mayflower is, or by making an atom out of candy or out of clay. Since we're talking about classrooms, let's go visit some. The intermediate school is a unique blend of level of students. When the Spectrum Academy was started years ago, it began in someone's living room, and then it moved to what is now our elementary building. It was built for one class of 15 or so students in each grade through 6th grade. As the demand for a school like Spectrum increased, this building was built about 9 years ago. It was to house our high school and middle school, but we quickly grew out of it. And so the high school and STARS building were acquired. The elementary building has K through 3rd grade. The intermediate now houses 4th through 8th grade. STARS has our students who are more severely affected by autism, and they're about K through 5th grade. And then the high school houses grades 9 to 12 plus. Here in the intermediate school, the classrooms for grades 4 through 6 are upstairs, and 7 and 8 are downstairs. So let's start with our upstairs. We're upstairs. This is our elementary. Students receive a locker. Many of them choose not to lock anything up, but it's a good place to put coats and boots during the winter weather. Let's check out a classroom. Do you notice anything unique about the classroom? I sure do. We're missing the students and the staff. So they are the heart of Spectrum Academy, and it's just not really the same without them. I really wish you could see them in action. But since you can't, I will just tell you my best, do my best to tell you about how it looks. Imagine around 15 students, a teacher, and a paraprofessional. The small educator to student ratio allows for more individualized instruction. One difference I noticed when my son started at Spectrum in 3rd grade was that his brother had at least an hour of homework a day to do. And generally my student at Spectrum had none. They did ask that we read with them daily, but he wasn't given homework unless it was something he wasn't able to finish in class. And it was such a refreshing challenge. We had enough to fight about with his behaviors and therapy and medical appointments that we really didn't need the extra stress of fighting about homework every day. So that was a fun change. So, quick question. Does the student have to be on the autism spectrum to come to Spectrum Academy? Well, my son was. That is not the case with everyone. Many students benefit from the small class size and more individualized attention. My second son, for example, didn't have an autism diagnosis, but he really benefited from the extra attention and the calmer atmosphere and smaller school size that Spectrum provides. Now let's go downstairs and see what our 7th and 8th grade classrooms look like. All students at Spectrum are required to learn social skills as part of the curriculum. This is very helpful, especially with elementary students who we share a common vocabulary with. For instance, if you tell a student to look and decide, that's a reminder to not interrupt and think before interrupting someone. Another thing that they say is, "You're in my bubble," which could mean watch the personal space. It's fun to have that whole school-wide vocabulary. In junior high, for the 7th and 8th graders though, they have a class specifically titled Social Skills, and they grapple with a little more advanced topics, such as relationships with peers. At Spectrum Academy, there are different tracks that fit the different needs of the Spectrum students. We have a functional skills track for students with greater needs. They are the students who are working significantly behind grade level academically. Let's go check one out. This is a functional skills classroom. The student to adult ratio in here is much lower than in the rest of the school. It's more like 3 students to every adult. Every functional skills teacher and paraprofessional are trained in ABA and work in short work sessions throughout the day, interspersed with learning valuable skills like working with money or personal hygiene or cooking. This is a strategic interventions classroom. Students in this class are behind their peers significantly, but not so severe as functional skills students. These students require some extra attention to get caught up to their peers academically. They generally stay in the 2 classrooms, this one and the one next door, and they get some extra time for core subjects like English and math. There's an extra paraprofessional in each classroom to help out too. This is a learning skills classroom. It is a self-contained placement that is meant to be a short-term solution for students who need extra help with behavior. A student will remain in learning skills for a matter of months or a year, getting extra instruction on positive behaviors. Once they've mastered those skills, they are gradually integrated back into the main student population. Learning skills classes are usually very small, consisting of just 5 or so kids with a teacher and a paraprofessional. We are lucky enough at Spectrum Academy to have a great team of related services to support our students in the classroom. We have a behavior specialist and a behavior team. Let's go show you those. Our behavior team even includes Luna. She's a therapy dog. This is where the behavior team hangs out, but really they're all over the school. The behavior team is an integral part of Spectrum Academy experience. For my son, he had real trouble with the transition from home to school, and every day was a fight to get him here. The behavior team would meet me at the doorway for the couple months that it took to get over it. He would meet me at the doorway with a weighted blanket and help Hiram to calm down every day until he could go to class. Then he was a model student, but it took a concerted effort for a period of time, and I am so grateful for their help. We also have speech and occupational therapy services with a dedicated speech team and OT team that we don't have to share with other buildings. This team really gets to know our students and can either pull them from class to work with them in a small group, or can push into the class and do activities with the entire class. You're not a weirdo at Spectrum if you get speech or occupational therapy services. Everyone in the class can benefit from time with the related services team. Just down the hall a little is the occupational therapy room. This is one of my favorite rooms, and not surprisingly, it's one of the students' favorite rooms also. Here we have tools for our students to use to regulate. Our schools use the Zones of Regulation curriculum. It's useful for students to recognize how they're feeling and so that they can get back into a place optimal for learning. Zones of Regulation charts are located in every classroom. It consists of 4 zones. The blue zone, which is bored, sad, or tired, or sick. The green zone, which is feeling okay and calm and happy and focused, ready to learn. Or the yellow zone, frustrated, silly, nervous, or excited, just a little bit out of control. And then the red zone, angry, terrified, mad, out of control. So, for example, if you're in the yellow zone, you may need to play with a fidget. Touch something. Or use a weighted blanket to get you back into that green optimal learning zone. If you're in the red zone, you may need to take a break. Go punch the punching bag. In the blue zone, you may need to chew some mint gum or walk around until you can wake up for a bit. Learning to recognize how you feel and coming up with coping strategies are something that occupational therapy excels at. Occupational therapy can also help if you have issues with handwriting or need some fine motor coordination. While we're on the subject, Spectrum students sometimes look a little different than what you're going to see at another school. For example, there are no uniforms at Spectrum because some of the students wouldn't be able to tolerate the texture of some clothes. We also allow students to chew gum and even encourage it when they're using it appropriately as a tool to regulate. It's not unusual to see a student walking around with headphones to help with sound sensitivity, or wearing a hat or a hoodie that can give those students that feeling of close space that they crave. Occupational therapy materials are found throughout the school and can be requested by teachers according to what their students need. We even have some materials in the front office for students to come check out if they need it once in a while. You don't have to have occupational therapy materials specifically mentioned in the IEP to request them here at Spectrum. They're available for everyone. Here we are back in the main hallway where we started the tour. A question I frequently get asked is if we provide transportation to and from Spectrum. The answer is sadly that we do not. Most students arrive at Spectrum through carpool. We would let you know through our student system what families reside in your area, and it's up to you to see if a carpool is a feasible option for you. Another opportunity for students 6th grade and older is riding the Front Runner train. Spectrum has a bus that goes between the Woods Cross station and here. A student must be able to ride the train independently to use this option, and the cost is $20 per term for the bus, in addition to the cost of the train pass, which you would arrange directly with UTA. The bus has a limited number of seats available, so if you are interested in this option, please let the front office know, and we will get you on the list. You may have further questions that I didn't cover in this video, or questions pertaining to your individual student. We have provided a list of frequently asked questions on the website, but we would also love to hear from you. So you could email me at wsteenblick, my last name, at spectrumcharter.org. That's W-S-T-E-E-N like Nancy, B like boy, L-I-K, at spectrumcharter.org. You are also welcome to call the school at 801-936-0318, option 2 for the intermediate school. We would be happy to answer any questions you have, or if we don't know the answer, I can refer you to someone who can. So if you're on the wait list, have been accepted, or just checking into options, thanks for joining me for this tour.
Hi, I'm Steve Merrill. I'm the assistant principal at Spectrum's Intermediate School.
And Steve, what have you noticed since you've come to Spectrum?
I have noticed that the teachers and the staff have massive hearts of gold. They work really, really long hours and connect with our students in a way that is unique. And it's something that I've heard a lot of students state that Spectrum is the place where they've found their school family. My favorite part of every single day begins right at about 7:55. I greet the students out front and we open the doors at 8 o'clock to all of our students before the 8:15 starting bell, and I get to give every single student snuggles, high fives, and hear whatever drama was occurring in their lives outside of school.